Well, good morning out there, all you viewers to play later. How we doing today? I know, this is going to be a bit of a strange one, okay? In a bunch of videos where I'm showing you the Prime miniatures, I'm always going, I'll do a follow-up video. I'll do a follow-up video. Hey, would you guys like to see this painted? Well, guess what? Today's the first one. I think I'm going to call this one Miniature Follow-Up Part 1. Today we're going to take a look at two miniatures that I've completed that I'm really proud of. One's going to be from the Horus Heresy line, and the other's going to be from Age of Sigmar. So, which one are we going to do first? Which one are we going to do first? You know what? I don't care. Let's pull up the Horus Heresy. That's right, the original Custode, the leader of the 10,000, the Gold King, or the Yellow King, King in Yellow, whatever they're calling in the books, Constantine Valdor. Now, I did a review of him just a little bit ago, and the only thing I had painted was basically most of his scenic base. I like the fact that for a lot of big-time characters with Forge World, they're going above and beyond to give you a centerpiece model. They're giving you like a display quality thing that if you put a good paint job on it, you can put it on a shelf inside one of those little IKEA showcases with the lights going on them, and it's going to attract attention. Not to mention with him on the battlefield. Now, the one thing I really truly need to get over when I'm painting these miniatures is it's a character miniature. So I try to go more in depth. What I learned, especially with painting Valdor, and by the way, here, easy now. Here he is. I've kind of left him on his big old scenic base. One of the biggest things I learned about him was block off the big chunks. Like, work on the armor one day, take a pause. Work on the cloak on the back, take a pause. Work on some of the details on the right side of his body, take a pause. Slow it down just a little. One of the things I did vastly differently with Valdor was normally, as part of my Custodes and my Stormcast Eternal phase, they get Retributor armor as a base, and then I'll cover it with like a Reichland Flesh Shade. With Valdor, I did Targor Rage Shade. Because according to Peachy over at the Painting Phase and Peachy Tips, Targor Rage Shade is the bastard stepchild between Nun Oil and Agrax Earth Shade. So I thought that might be incredibly interesting to try for a massive character miniature. He was a lot of fun. I did have one huge mistake, but it turned out really good. Right there with the fur pelt, I really wanted a, I can't remember the name of it. It's part of the new Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 range. It's like a bluish gray. Like Viking Sea or Stormy Sea or something. I can't remember. And no offense, I'm not walking over to the paint table just to find one single paint. But I used a different gray, and I was able to highlight it up to somewhere where I wanted it to be, and I thought it came out pretty cool. So instead of doing like a rope color, if you can see right there around the fist, and where else we got here where it's really prevalent, got to be careful because of the scenic base. Well, whatever. Like around the fist there, instead of using a rope color and having a real pain in the butt highlighting it up, I just went with Screamer Pink and did my usual Nun Oil and a little bit of Pink Horror or something like that to kind of give it more of a regal kind of look. One of the biggest things I learned painting him is try to keep it simple. Seriously. Simple effects became really stunning with some good washes, and I will freely admit, the Army Painter and their shades, oh yeah, came out really well. I like the effect I was able to get on the Apollonian Spear. We all know it's a power weapon, but that to me looks like it's just turning on. What I did was take Frostheart, water it down a lot with medium, well, the Army Painter medium. It built up small little glazes going over the top. And then when I got it done, it got a metallic dry brush. I believe it was Stormhurst Silver. For the Apollonian Spear itself, I took a lot of look at artworks. And I was going to do it all black, but I'm remembering, hey, it's the Horus Heresy. It's 10,000 years before the modern day stuff going on. It's going to be different. So it got some golds with a Targor Rage Shade highlight on it. So seriously, he came together beautifully. Yeah, that's part of the display base. So like I said, I'm almost thinking about gluing everything in place, just simply because, yeah, why not? The one problem I had though, and I'm glad that fell out so you can kind of see it in there, is getting him into the display base. It almost seems like I didn't sand everything properly or do things accurately, for lack of a better phrase, because, yeah, he doesn't sit well at times going in and coming out. Here, you just sit over here. He really doesn't, and it almost feels like I'm scraping this part of the base to get him in there. The gold on the cloak was really simple. I just gave it a highlight, a greedy gold base, known oil wash, and a little bit of highlight with a brassy color, and it really pulled off what I was looking for. As you know, for the stonework, I think I've discussed it before, it gets a base of storm vermin fur, a mix of 60-40. In Citadel, it's called Celestia Gray and bleached bone. But if you're using Army Painter, it's Starship Hull. And I just dry brushed the crap out of it. And then for this one, instead of known oil, I gave it a Targar Raid Shade wash. So overall, he came out just incredible. I was able to get him done in a weekend because I really, truly paced myself. I did not want to rush because, well, it is a character miniature. Those you really, really don't want to hurry and do anything weird on. You just want to enjoy the process, And especially with the cost on them, yeah. That's all I'm going to say is the cost, Forge World. All right, next up, I recently did a video on Gardish Steel Soul. All right, he was all... Oh, there's the back of the box. I was saving those for the paint references. He was all done in the Retributor armor. Now, I borrowed heavily for an idea from the War Hipster. What that man can do with contrast paint is just fucking unbelievable. I can't get anywhere near what he does, but I took his idea of the blue on the armor, that metallic blue, because, with everything with the Stormcast and the power of Azure going through them and the lightning, they got a lot of blues. One thing I wasn't able to do that I wanted to is I wanted to get some Frostheart through that base and make it look like lightning coming out. Because if you look at him, it looks like he landed in a superhero pose. Okay? I just couldn't get it the way I wanted it to. So bam, usual rock thing, Stormvermin and Burr, the mix, and then the wash. One of the things I was really, really happy about is how the armor turned out. That gold on there, I think that's some of the best I have ever done. Now, the one thing I did really, really differently is the G-Dub official art, the War Hipster art, everything else I found, that tabard right in the middle is blue with some silver in there. I am not that skilled to freehand the silver and the lettering, so I went with the normal, like the parchment on the side. Yeah, as you can see it right there, I went with that normal parchment. So as opposed to having blue on the front and purple on the back. The one thing I did do is on the back where all the little hammers are coming up with like his cloak, the flayed little cloak. I kept it my usual Stormcast blue, but on the back I paid tribute to the original artwork and I went with some purplish mix. God bless that little base. I went with some purplish on the back side. That was, a base, some highlights, and a wash. So it was pretty simple to pull off. For the sword, I went with Iron Hand Steel and gave it a Frostheart glaze. I just like that, the way it's like lightning looking on there. For the golden pieces on, the sword there, I went with that thing that I've been experimenting with my Sagittarium Guard, where it's a brass, basilicanum gray, and a couple gold highlights. I liked the way he came out. He went together really, really quick. I was kind of nervous getting in there and getting after him because I didn't know what I wanted to do with parts of the armor until I started doing a real deep dive on YouTube and looking around. I went, okay. The one thing I did a bit differently than like the War Hipster, on the back there, I really wanted that gold, the gold on his leg straps on the armor or whatever to go all the way around to give it a different look. I like how that came out. Like he has like the break of the blue and the gold, the blue and the gold, the blue and the gold. It just came out a little different. Once again, a character miniature, have fun with it. The only thing I really was like, everywhere I ever found right there, that big white dot, on the pauldron thing right here, everybody's got it white. I really haven't found it any other colors. So I gave it like a titanium white, and I had to give it like a known oil wash to get in there and kind of separate things out. I'm really not good with whites. I got to get better. Like with yellows, I got to get better, but I don't know. I think it still kind of works. Like all the white on the armor is just that titanium with a known oil going over the top. He was fun. I mean, he came together really, really simple. And oh, Peachy, I got to give you credit, dude. For the face, I use a cork, Gulliman Flesh, highlight with cork, and highlight with, what is it? Kislev Flesh. So I got to give you credit, dude. I don't know if you'll ever see this video, but yeah, that was fun. And like I said, all the white on there is just a one coat of titanium white. Really easy come together. Oh, the blue, Grey Knight Steel, Drakenhof Nightshade Wash, Stormhurst Silver, I believe it is. No, Ironbreaker highlight, and then a Stormhurst Silver highlight. So it kind of looks like he's got stuff pulsing through the armor, where it's a bluish steel, but it's not overly blue, if that makes any sense. There's still a really great blue metallic look to it, but it looks like something's going on with his armor. Okay, so that's the first two. I've got others that I will be bringing in future videos. I like how these turned out. And I'm going to tell you honestly, character miniatures can be very daunting. They really, truly can. But if you just take them small pieces at a time, like with Constantine Valdor, I did the scenic base first. While in my head, I'm thinking about what is the overall look I want for Valdor. I wanted to do something different with the armor, and I think with the Targor Raid Shade, I was able to pull that off to give it more of a darker goldish color. It worked out better than I thought it would. The mistake with the fur came out a lot better than I ever could have dreamed it would have. Just by doing research, and I'm sorry, I'm still looking at it and seeing if there's anything else I want to talk about on it. Just doing research on it and looking at other people's artwork can be very, very inspiring. But I'm going to tell you honestly, whenever you're painting your miniature, remember, yeah, you're going to be painting it like right here, but it's going to be, way down there on the tabletop, and you're going to be a good 2-3 feet away from it at most times. So if you like how it looks, that's the important part. You're only going to get better the more miniatures you paint. None of us are Golden Demon Award-winning painters when we first start. None of us are. I have vastly improved from where I've ever was like 20 fucking years ago, when I thought that was it, dry brushing was everything, until I learned now I need makeup brushes because they remove the chalky look. And I'm going to go into that in a different video too. But still, we are at the best part of the video for me. Seriously, we really truly are. I want to know your questions, comments, love, hatred, anger, all that fun stuff down below. How do you think those miniatures turned out? I really want to know your feedback. I would love to hear what you think I could have done differently, because I'm always open and always willing to learn. Now, if it made you laugh, made you cringe, made you cry, made you do any of that during filming this video, and I'm pretty sure that it did, please hit that big old thumbs up. It's only going to show love and support for the channel, and that is always appreciated. Plus, it's going to give you that little bonus of rolling natural sixes when you need it to. If you're going to be one of those that hit a thumbs down, you're going to get in anything but. You guys know. Alrighty, guys, there we go. Yeah, we didn't do the pause for, the adulting, because there really was no adulting to get out of the way. But still, I want to thank you for watching this one. I hope you're having a great day today, a safe day today, and I look forward to meeting all of you across the tabletop.